What's up guys, Duarte here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and we are back for another Alliance Wars Daily. And this time we are still on the Secret Warriors against the Legion's Gambit. And this was a massive 24k punch up, so obviously we were not expecting much. And this alliance is quite interesting. They have 12 people above 10 million TCP, so we are definitely not expecting much. And they even have one guy that has 14 million TCP, which is just massive. And they were completely out of our reach, and we were expecting that. We already had 4 wins this week after that easy W against Hydra V4V. So we were expecting that we were going to face some massive alliance, and that's exactly what happened. 24 million is 1 million on top of each player, but this, to be honest, this alliance on average is way higher than 24 million in terms of comparison, because they have a few people that are like mascots there, and they are not nice people. After they won, they were trying to recruit some of our people to go to their alliances, and like, come on, why have to be so nasty? Just keep your players. They are recruiting some of our best players so they can remove the mascots that they have. It's just not cool that they do that. But we're going to take a look at the attacks I did and how well I did against this alliance, which was not easy, and you'll see why. And then we are going to take a look at my defensive wins, and we are also going to take a look at the layout of the alliance and if they have a good strategy in terms of rooms or not. So yeah, if you find the information on this video helpful, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and make sure you smash that like button. And by the way, just because I'm mentioning some alliance and so on, like on the last video, we had, I'm saying we because me and Sky, we had all these kind of people attacking us. And why are you attacking Sky? She has nothing to do with this video. It's my channel, my video. Stop attacking her. Like, just because she's my alliance leader or whatever, there is nothing, like, leave her alone. She was not happy at all that a few people were attacking her and saying that we were scumbags. If there is any scumbag here, it's only me. I'm the Euro douchebag, like some people call me. I'm a European douchebag. Yes, I'm definitely that. Keep that opinion about me, because that's just great. So yeah, let's go into the video. Let's take a look at the matches. A lot of losses here, but you'll see why when we take a look at the defensive wins and also to their layout. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so let's take a look at the first punch up, and we have Ultimus with Loki against the Wave 1 Avengers. A little punch down, so of course we are going to win. Now, having Spider-Man, OG Spider-Man here, I think it would be a good idea if you had Thor around, but with Spider-Man and with Hawkeye, you have two characters that don't do that much damage. So if you had like Thor here, it would be a little bit better, and you'd be able to do more damage with his special and with his ultimate. But like this, and having so like Spider-Man so close of Hulk, it's like you are inviting just to get that guy destroyed. So as you saw, this team is amazing against Hulk, because Ultimus destroys Hulk right away, and then you just have to clean the house. So whether you are doing a punch across or a punch down, or even you can usually punch up 50k with this team, only if you are like very unlucky with Hawkeye's ultimate or something like that, where you get blind on everyone. Only in situations like that it can be problematic, and even the versions that have Captain Marvel, they are no problem for this team, because you can so easily destroy Hulk and Captain America. But if you want to play it safe, instead of Loki, just use Vision and you'll be fine. Okay, so now you are taking a look at the symbiotes against the Asgardians. This Hela was a little bit big, but nothing special, and she has Raider on her ISO 8. I still can't understand why people use Raider on Hela. It's the worst option possible. It's not the worst, but it's not great. So like always, and if you feel that like the Hela is a little bit big, you use your ultimate from Carnage on the first Greg, and then from that you just chain over and over again to Greg. Now usually I do 3 or 4 Gregs, and usually that's fine, but some people prefer to do like 6 Gregs. I think it's unnecessary, and I like to go for that early heal block. She already has defense down, she already had offense down whenever she did her ultimate, so that makes the fight very easy. And if you are concerned about the characters going on stealth, you can use Scream to apply the disrupt and you'll be fine. But apart from that, like if this fight was not against Legion's Gambit, which once again are 24 million punch up against us, if it wasn't such a strong alliance, I usually use symbiotes against Asgardians, but I kill the Gregs until the last minute, so you can have a higher score, so it's more likely that you get MVP. But it's a dangerous situation. Only do that if you feel very comfortable about what you are doing, otherwise you might end up in a loop where you are not able to finish off Hela. But yeah, it's something you can do with the symbiotes in order to get more points on damage, and then that will lead up for MVP at the end of the war. Okay, now we have the Black Order against the Marauders with Sabertooth, so you know it's gonna be easy. That's why I went for a 50, 60k punch up, something like that. Like always, you want to focus on Strife, and once again it's very important that your Thanos has Striker isolate, so you can do more single target damage, apply those extra bleeds, and finish him off way faster. I use a Skirmisher on everyone else except Thanos and Call Obsidian, but if you prefer something else, it's up to you. I just like to have this one because you have the most consistent buff removal, and especially when you are focusing on single target, it's going to be very important. So my Proxima Midnight, like always, she's always near death, and that's exactly what happens. I got lucky with the clone. They clone the, what's his name, Corvus Glaive. If they clone, for example, Call Obsidian or Ebony Maw or something like that, it can get a little bit tricky. Or if they clone your Proxima Midnight and she stuns one of your main characters, yeah, that's going to be problematic. Now, one thing I have to mention is that I don't have T4 on the ultimate from Ebony Maw, so if you have that T4, this fight is even easier than you see right now on the field. And what I said about the symbiotes, you can also do here with this team. You can save these two guys that heal themselves and do as much damage as possible, so you get MVP. But only do that if you are 100% safe of what you are doing and you know that you can win the fight. Otherwise, you can get yourself into a loop where it can be problematic. And to be honest, this Emma Frost was holding herself on. I don't know, she has Raider. Like, why does she have Raider? It doesn't make any sense. Like, I can't understand the ISO weight of these people. So yeah, I was abusing of the health regeneration that she had, but at some point I was like, oh my god, I'm getting into the loop, so I need to be careful about it. Otherwise, I won't actually be able to win. And yeah, so I finally decided to use the ultimate. As I didn't use the ultimate until this point, but now she's out of her diamond form, so you can just finish her off. Once again, you can use that to get more damage points for the MVP, but be careful with that. Make sure you know exactly what you're doing. Okay, so we have the Brotherhood with the Sabertooth against Coulson, and this was a big Coulson, and we were also on the security. So It's a little bit dangerous. Usually it's not a problem for the Brotherhood, but these guys felt a little bit bigger than I could handle. Especially they still had the medbay, they had the barracks, they had all the buffs available. And I got that pesky offense down on Pyro and on Magneto, so that's going to be a huge problem because my damage is going to be greatly reduced. So not only they have all the buffs available, they also were able to apply that offense down, which became very problematic. But yeah, because my toad is so small, I was not able to clear the immunities, and that turned out to be a huge problem. But in the end we managed to win. But as you can see, these guys are going slow, they are going down very slowly. So because of that, instead of doing the ultimate right away with the Juggernaut, I decided to charge him up a little bit more and going for 4 charges instead of going for 2. Then I focus on the medic, but this medic, she was very high red stars, very high power. Like, this is a very powerful shield team, and I was like, oh man, I already passed the 2 minutes and I'm still not done with this. This is gonna be problematic. Hopefully they attacked a few times Sabretooth, and because of his healing I was able to withstand a little bit longer. So Coulson died, but because Medic already did her ultimate, he won't be revived right away. So we have a few turns in order to defeat him, and she has the slow is huge against her. If you can't apply the slow with Toad, make sure you apply the slow with Medic, and then you can take care of her, but usually you don't want to leave her for last. But yeah, that was a big Medic, and it was a little bit concerning. Okay, then I used the Aimtron, the Swaim, these names. I used the Swaim team against this mix of Brotherhood, of Defender characters with Young Avengers characters, and this was quite problematic. And when you are facing the Young Avengers, you don't want to use the ultimate from Scientist Supreme right away, because the first move from Squirrel Girl, it's a very dumb move, but against this specific team is great because it removes all the negative effects from the team. But as you saw, they had that big ass Punisher, but I decided to stun him, focus on him, apply all those bleeds. And this is why Swarm is so good on this team, because you are applying all those bleeds, and then the Graviton can extend the bleeds from Swarm. So that's very powerful, and the negative effects that Scientist Supreme applies to Swarm, he can flip them into positive effects. And as you can see, all those bleeds now, they have defense, they have offense up in some of them, so that will result in more bleed damage. So I thought that Punisher had enough bleeds to die, but you need to be careful with that sometimes. If Jessica Jones would be around, maybe that would not be the case. So doing some big damage there with the Graviton on Squirrel Girl, then Miss Marvel taunted, but it's pretty much win after we are done with Punisher, and after you are able to withstand the first turn of this team. So yeah, Swarm dies once again. Like, it's no problem if Swarm dies, because whenever he revives, he comes with full charges, and that's exactly what you want. So this was an easy fight. Usually I like a lot to use the Swarm against the Young Avengers, or even against Captain Marvel or something like that. Doesn't really matter the version of the Young Avengers, you can do fine. And those big Captain Marvels, if you apply defense down from Scientist Supreme, then you can go with the stun of Graviton and you'll be just fine. Okay, now we have the X-Force against Dr. Octopus, and this was a very dumb decision that I made, because we were like, oh, we are going to have only the armory for a few more seconds, because they were attacking our last team on the armory. So just attack whatever and try to get a win. And I was like, okay, I'm going to use this team that I have very low experience, the X-Force, with against a team that I also don't have much experience with, which is the Dr. Octopus Sinister 6. So yeah, it was a terrible decision, and I was quite unlucky with the amount of debuffs I got on Negasonic. I tried to flip them away to Deadpool, but I was not able to recover from that huge burst damage that Negasonic took early on, and then she died. So as you can see, it was very problematic, and I was even trying to beat this guy, and to be honest, I think I should have not quitted this match. I should just have keep going with it. What's the speed of this? Okay, so I think I should have just go with it, and since I already got 2 or 3 characters down, or 2 characters down, I should just have saved it, and then it would be a little bit easier for some of my alliance mates and so on to finish it off. But yeah. And like I didn't knew exactly what was going on because all of them were healing, and I don't know, like I felt that sometimes I was attacking Mysterio and Dr. Octopus was healing up. Then I still don't have this fight figured out, and of course doing a punch up when they have the medbay and when they have the barracks, of course it was a terrible decision. Even that I had the armory, I no longer had the hangar, so yeah, it was not a great decision. At least I got some experience out of this match, I guess. But yeah, I quitted, but I should have not quitted, so I would make it easier for whoever was coming next. Okay, then I had this very easy match with the X-Men against the Young Avengers, and I was out of buffs. They still had buffs, they still had the medbay. They had the medbay entire match, and they had also the barracks, so tons of HP for them, and not many stats for me at all. And unfortunately I got that disrupt on Beast, usually something I don't like. I mean, I don't like disrupt on anyone, but Beast as the buffer, it can be problematic. So when you use Cyclops, you always target the tank so you can apply the taunts to everyone else. I don't have the T4 on the special. It's a okay T4, it's not super great, but yeah. So I decided to focus on Squirrel Girl, get their healing done, and then we can dismantle the rest of the team. They were using Gamora. I don't know if this was like some big ass Gamora or something like that, but she was definitely doing some damage. So then we just have to do the special or the basic. The basic would probably kill a few of these characters. The special was nice to counter those bleeds that Squirrel Girl applied to our team. So now we have the special for some extra healing. I could have done the ultimate and finish it there, but either way, Cyclops should be able to get rid of some of them. He has offense down from that ultimate from Squirrel Girl, so it was not like an instant kill. And yeah, it's of course an easy match. We are using one of the best teams in the game, the X-Men against one of the most average teams in the game that even struggles on Blitz. So we have to wait for the last Young Avenger, the Young Avenger, and see if this team becomes a little bit better. But yeah, Colossus there with a kill, so that was quite nice. Okay, so now we have the Supernatural doing 40k punch up, and they have the medbay, they have the barracks, and they have a huge ass shield medic, even bigger than the one before. And I thought for a while that I was not going to be able to do it. Like first they were doing insane amount of damage to my Hela, the Greg's dying and so on. Of course that always helps. Then we have the Gregs dying, that helps to heal up the Supernatural and also healing Ella. So I didn't know exactly who to attack. Then everything got resisted, of course, because why not? It's a 7 red stars shield medic, yikes. Then I went for the special, everything got resisted because why not? This team desperately needs some higher focus than they have. And yeah, so Hela died. Big yikes. But at least we killed a few minions. At least we killed a few minions of the ones that Nick Fury summoned. So yeah, this looks great. Ha 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 ha. Okay, so I was able to apply the defense down on Nick Fury, and because I have Striker on Ghost Rider, that allowed me to apply a few more bleeds, and hopefully that will be enough to get rid of him. But I really need a stun or a slow on Shield Medic, but of course she resisted because why not? So we need to get rid of Shield Security and Shield Medic. Disrupt? Of course not, everything gets resisted. Medbay and Barracks and this team is huge, but still it should not happen that the disrupt got disrupted. So of course Nick Fury revives because why not? Then let's see, I used the basic, got rid of Nick Fury once again. I tried to go for some extra bleeds. This is definitely not working out, everything is getting resisted. And yeah, so even, I'm not sure, oh, it's Loki. Loki lowers the resistance of this guy, so maybe at some point in the future I might change this team a little bit. We will have to see, but I was very concerned. The fact that they had the barracks, the medbay and so on made this fight very difficult. Usually I have a super easy time against this team, but as you guys can see, the difference in buffs makes a huge difference. So finally Medic died and Coulson is still there, and then finally we were able to defeat the team, but it took 4 minutes. Whew. For a while I was like, this is gonna be difficult. Okay, so at this point in time we had already lost. We were not able to break their barracks. We were not able to break their medbay. They had way too many teams at 600k, 700k. It was like, oh my god, this is a nightmare. So because of that, I just thought, okay, I'm gonna increase my experience with the X-Force because it's a team I don't have too much practice. But I already knew that against a Nick Fury that big at gear tier 14 that it would not be easy. But I never expected that it would be this bad. Maybe if my X-Force were a little bit higher, they would do fine against his team. But once again, at the end, you want to save the X-Force for last, so the enemies don't have any buffs. But because they had all the buffs, that would make even less likely for me to be able to destroy them. So right away I lost Domino, then Cable, then Negasonic. What am I gonna do with these 3 guys? They are not strong enough to do anything. So once again I take the L and I go home because yeah, these guys were way too strong. So it was time to finally eat some scraps, to eat the remaining of some team, and I used the Patron power armor with Ultron instead of Iron Man. But I was not sure about this fight. I don't have much experience against Dr. Octopus without the X-Men. I usually use X-Men against this team, and this was on the reactor, so that's a huge problem. I just thought that hopefully I will have enough turn meter to get rid of those disrupts, and then Ultron will be able to do something about it. So yeah, that's exactly what I try to do, to make sure that they have enough buffs so I can get as much turn as possible. Then the rotation of the minions didn't went perfectly, so Ultron attacked way early, and I think I used the ultimate from Iron Fart way too early, and because it's only for 1 turn, because she doesn't have level 70, it's not as good as it could be, and that's a huge problem with this team. If you don't have that T4 on her ultimate, she's nothing special. But yeah, we were able to get rid of Rhino, now trying to get rid of Swarm, and we have still Mysterio over here. Mysterio is not a huge problem unless he's next to Dr. Octopus, otherwise he becomes quite annoying, but not the case. I don't know exactly why most people have Swarm there. Swarm there is garbage, to be honest. So yeah, with only these 2 guys left, I was not sure about what to do. Like, this guy at gear tier 14 and 5 red is taking damage in the face, and nothing is happening. He's healing so much. What I'm gonna do to get rid of this guy? I have most of the bots on the field, so yeah, what I'm gonna do about it? So I decided just to get rid of Mysterio first, and then we'll take care of Dr. Octopus. So finally he started with his shenanigans, so I started to turn rewind him and waiting for the next turn of Ironheart so I can apply the defense down once again. Otherwise, like, the damage I'm doing to this guy is barely none, even with the Ultron. So that was a huge problem. So as you saw, ultimate from Ultron and barely did any damage. Once again he summoned Shocker, and I have to get rid of him very fast. Okay, defense down once again, and with that I should be able to finish him off. But yeah, I'm scared for the next time Dr. Octopus will come around. With all the people getting him at 7 yellows, he's gonna be a huge pain in the tail. And finally I have my last match, and this was just as a burner. There was this mercenary team that I thought I can't do anything about it, so I'm just gonna use my X-Force. So they wasted the cooldowns of Taskmasters and Merc Riot Guard and so on, and then one of my alliance mates will be able to clear it up, and that's exactly what happened. But with all the buffs that they had and with my trashy X-Force, I was not expecting to win. And I'm a little bit confused about this matchup, because early on they don't have the defense up, they don't have anything, so it feels kind of a waste, and then you get these blinds. You guys let me know in the comments below if the X-Force is a good team against the mercenaries or only punching down or something like that. I definitely didn't felt very comfortable using this team. It just feels like the turn order doesn't work exactly, and they have all these blinds blinds are a huge problem against the X-Force. So yeah, if you guys have any thoughts about this matchup, let me know in the comments below. Tell me your experience, if this is not a good option, or if I did something wrong. I definitely did something wrong because I didn't use the ultimate from Negasonic. But yeah, I was a little bit confused about the exact rotation for this matchup. But yeah, at least whoever came after got a W for the L that I just took. Okay, so now let's take a look at the defensive wins and if I got any or not. And you can see right here against my Taskmaster, they use the full power X-Men, which has Beast and Psylocke. I have high crit on all of my characters, but against such a powerful team, like 100k punch down, that's just massive. Like, I had no chance to win. And especially with Beast, even if I have a big advantage early on with Beast and Psylocke and so on, that advantage fades away really fast. Then we have, let's see, we have the Fantastic Four with the She-Hulk, with the Fantastic Four with the Namor. And once again, big punch down, they completely destroy me. I destroyed Johnny Storm and Namor. Maybe if I would be a little bit more lucky, I would be able to finish off their damage dealing, and then I would be able to recover because of my ISO 8, but it's a far reach, especially when they are punching down so much. Then we have our first win with the Dr. Octopus Sinister 6, and they are using a mix of Asgardians with Baron Zemo. Like, what? Baron Zemo is so overrated, especially when you are facing characters that are non-minions. Like, he does a lot of damage, but against non-minions, like, he doesn't have enough damage. But this was quite surprising. Maybe they don't know how powerful Dr. Octopus is on defense, but especially with his team and removing all the effects that they have, even stealth and taunts and so on, Green Goblin does a great job on defense in that regard. And yeah, so that was the first win. Then let's take a look. Then the Hero Brawlers with Captain Marvel. Of course, this is basic team, anyone can beat them. But they decided to use Fantastic Four with Ultron. Okay, I think that's a waste, but I guess. And still a massive punch down, 60k, so good W there. Then they went with the X-Force, and they were slightly damaged, and it was a punch across. The X-Force, if they have good gear, they can beat this team very, very easily. Then I tried with my own, as you saw in the videos, and it didn't end up very well because mine are like gear tier 12 and they are still not at 7 yellow, and the red stars are not that great. But yeah, you can do it. You need specific ISOs, you need good red stars, otherwise you can get stuck in an endless loop, and depends on which character you lose first. Like losing Cable is not as much as a big deal as losing Domino early on. Then we have, let's see, we have this mix-up of Guardians with Sif and Shuri. So this team is almost at 500k. They decided to use full power X-Men with Storm and with Beast. All those assists, all that speed up and so on would definitely make this team easy to deal with, unless I was like very, very lucky and for some reason the AI would focus early on Cyclops. Otherwise this team can just walk over, and yes, 70k punch up, that's pretty good. Then we have that Asgardians with Baron Zemo once again against the Avengers, and they did very, very well. And I'm not surprised if you can land that Disrupt in Hulk or Captain America and then spread it around. It completely cancels the team, and because my Hawkeye is quite weak, I guess that Baron Zemo was able to blow him up right away, and then you just can get rid of the other ones. So not a huge deal. I can see them, and punching down 30k, so pretty decent. Then I have another W, and that's with the Inhumans mixed with Shield. This is a very powerful team, and they used the Black Order and they lost. So it was a 50k punch up, but it's quite surprising that they got destroyed. As you can see, they have 3 characters at Gear Tier 14. So yeah, that was definitely a good W, and that's the purpose of this team, is to consume as many Black Orders as possible, so whenever they attack my Marauders with Emma Frost, they will have less Black Orders available. That's the strategy behind this team. And once again, they use a Black Order, this time against my Marauders. It was a 20k punch up, so not a huge deal, and they lost. So many people say, oh, Blob is pointless, he's not great on this team. No, that's not true at all. The Blob makes a huge difference. If you think Blob doesn't make a difference on this team, like, you probably don't understand much about this game, or you pretend that you do, or you pretend that you don't, so you mislead people. I don't know, but definitely more and more people are using Blob on defense, and I was big promoter of this idea back in the day, and you can see the results, like Black Order losing. It's not like they are canceling, they are literally losing. And yeah, so then we have a few fights from Sky, and let's see. So then they use a full Inhumans team to kill my Black Bolt and Yo-Yo. I think that's fair. You don't want to play around with these guys when they are on their own. And then I have the last fight where they use Ultron with Shuri and Scientist Supreme. A little bit overkill, but I understand, like, the negative effects and the heal block to cancel Emma Frost, and then Ultron to do the mass damage. So yeah, not many wins, but against this alliance, once again, 24 million punch up for us. I was not expecting much. So let's take a look at their layout, and then you can have an idea of how powerful their team was. Okay, so now you're taking a look at Legion's Gambit layout, and they have a quite good layout in my opinion. They have hidden rooms, and I'll explain this in a little bit. So first they have the cargo bay. That's a low value room, and that's why you should have it on top. And then you have the reactor. If you are lucky enough to get the reactor early on, that's terrible, because reactor is one of the worst rooms that you can find. So yeah, when you should have the least relevant rooms on top, so having the cargo bay, reactor and the bridge is a good way to start. And then they have the engineering giving extra buffs for the cargo bay. I think this is very unnecessary. You should rather have the engineering here under the cargo bay, under the reactor. So not only you have the disrupt, you also have that early defense up, but it also depends on what type of teams you have. Having the security under the reactor is also very problematic, but some people don't like that. It really depends on the position of the other rooms. And yeah, so they have a cargo bay, bridge and reactor, then engineering giving defense up on cargo bay. Once again, that's pretty much useless. And then they have the armory down, which is where it should be. And they have the hangar here in the middle on the right side. That's good. Like the hangar is great for your attack. You have those early deflects, but it's not super necessary. So hangar, you always want to have it on the level 2 or level 1 of the rooms, because even if they find it early on, it's not super relevant. Now they did something very interesting, and I have seen a few people doing this, and I think it's very smart, is to hide one of the global rooms in the middle. So usually when you have double drilling, you have one on each side and people don't go through the middle. And because of that, you might end up going all the way down and not being able to find one of the global rooms, which in this case was the barracks. And that greatly delays the team. So in case you have the barracks or the med bay here, it might be a huge advantage. So that was pretty smart of their team. And then well, let's take a look at this one. They have the security. The security here is also good as well. So we have defense down here, here and here. So there is a good spread, even in case they want to go through the middle. So what I would change, probably put the reactor here if they want to use the barracks here. That would make it a little bit better. But yeah, they have a very good layout. The layout is very, very smart, and it's already predicting some of the moves of the meta that we have available right now in terms of room drilling. And yeah, so the reason why we were not able to beat this alliance, so first 24 million punch up, then a few of our players took very long to show up, like at least 10 of them or something like that. And then look at these teams. These teams are huge in terms of defense, like 600k mercenaries. Then there is this guy over here that has 800k Black Order. Look at that, 800k Black Order. It took us several of our Black Orders to beat this one. And of course, when you are facing super whales like deep water Kraken, it's not going to be possible to win. But I still think we did a pretty good job. Taking a look at the difference in terms of power, we were not able to clear up. But look at these teams, like all these teams are insane. 700, almost 700, almost 700, almost 600. And yeah, man, even that these barracks were very decently hidden, they were just massive. 7 red stars, Dr. Octopus almost 700, another Taskmaster almost 700. So yeah, we already knew that this was going to happen, but to face an alliance that had such a massive defense was something that we were not expecting. But once again, like I said before in my other video, when you reach above the 6 million TCP and when you have decent teams for offense, you should definitely consider investing on defense, so the other alliance doesn't have any chance. They would win anyway because of the difference in power, even if they had everything on offense, but still they completely destroy us, and they greatly cause us cost in terms of alliance war credits. And we were also not buying any packs of shame or anything, because yeah, there was no point. In terms of overall defenses, my alliance, we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, then we have 19, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. 27 wins on a 24 million difference of TCP is not bad at all. And now in terms of the opponents, of course they had way more. So we can see 16, 27, 27, 34, 39, 43, 47, 50, 59, 59, 65, 65, 69, 7, nice, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 74. So it was to be expected. I think we did a good job, assuming the difference that we had. But yeah, that's the way it is. We can't always win, especially when the algorithm works in a way that it works in a way so you have 50-50 chances of win, or at least in terms of result. So yeah guys, that's going to be the video. I hope you guys enjoy it. The Secret Warriors saying a nice FU in Chinese to the Legion's Gambit. But it was a great war. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, it was a great effort that all of us did, and I was trying out some teams and some punch-ups that I usually don't try. And well, we failed, we lost, but that's just the way it is. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Smash that like button like a boss. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content. If you found the video helpful and entertaining, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. And yeah, I will catch you guys later.